wasn't just some blasé interview. We felt the passion from both our Dan Le Batard and MLB Commissioner Rob Manfred regarding Derek Jeter's moves with the Marlins thus far. Max, whose side are you on here?
I want to be very clear about this. Dan Le Batard's a friend of mine. Stephen, I spent my 30th birthday with Dan Le Batard. I was texting him last night, what's up, and we got into this subject. I'm going to talk about that in a second. So, whose side am I on, Dan Le Batard or the commissioner of baseball? I mean, if they bumped into each other in the club and there was beef, I'm on Dan's side, right? But we're talking about the content of what was said. And I have to agree with the commissioner here. Dan's position seems to me to be not about the particulars of the Giancarlo Stanton trade, whether or not you trade. In fact, he was explicit with me about that, and he's been explicit about that on the radio. It's not about whether or not you traded the right fielder. His is a structural argument that the people of South Florida and that whole market and those fans who have been abused basically by Major League Baseball, in Dan's opinion, the taxpayers have been ripped off by Loria and Major League Baseball in the past, and that the new owners, he would want to see he wouldn't want a structural problem where the deal incentivizes, or even if not incentivizes, allows a guy to come in with very little capital, Derek Jeter, as Loria did, and have a structure in place where he can profit so long as there's a profit. It has nothing to do with the quality of the team or serving the fans of Florida, Southern Florida. So I understand that argument. It's a structural argument about the way this has been set up. But to me, that's actually not the point here. Just because Loria ripped you off and was a terrible owner, good riddance, and that was not under the current commissioner's watch, incidentally, that was under the previous commissioner, doesn't mean that because there's a structure in place where so long as they make a profit, Jeter makes a profit, you should expect Jeter simply to fleece the fans of South Florida. I mean, that's not the way it would. First of all, Derek Jeter is not that. His entire life says he is not motivated strictly by profit. He's motivated by success. And in fact, even as a player, the success he counted in wins and losses and championships. And so while I understand the structural argument, the argument of the commissioner and of Derek Jeter is, hey, give me a chance, says Jeter, says the new ownership group. Don't make assumptions based on the fact that you've been burnt in the recent past, several times, incidentally. And so, Stephen A., anyone worth their salt, and I know this isn't Dan's point, but it is mine, any ownership group, GM group, whatever, worth their salt comes in. Day one, what you do is try to move that onerous Stanton contract where he has no trade clauses, which he exercised twice, lowering the value of the return. And in fact, what this group got was an all-star player, which you can flip into more prospects, a prospect, and they only had to eat $30 million of a $295 million deal, and that's only if he doesn't opt out, which he very may well opt out after 3 years. So far, in terms of the baseball moves, it's very solid. So Dan's assumption is it won't stay that way because of the structure of the deal. This is my interpretation. But I would not jump to that conclusion. If I were a fan in South Florida, I would be encouraged about what I've seen so far. So I agree with the commissioner, actually.
I side with the commissioner as well, but for different reasons. Dan Le Batard was wrong, and I'm going to say it for different reasons. We're both friends with Dan Le Batard. I haven't spoken to him in the last 24 hours. You have, but I haven't spoken to him, but we've both known him for many years. We love him dearly. He's a colleague of ours here. He's wrong. And the reason why he's wrong is a very, very simple reason, Max. Derek Jeter and the Miami Marlins have not played a game yet in the Jeter regime. You may not like what's going on right now, but who's to say it's not going to bear fruit? The Miami Marlins, the Florida Marlins, have not been in the postseason. They won the World Series in 2003. Not only have they not won a World Series since, they haven't been to the postseason since. That's 14 years. Derek Jeter's a 5-time champion. He's saying there hasn't been success yet. We inherit this team. We're $400 million in debt, according to the reports. We've got a guy with 10 years, with a 10-year deal and $295 million left on his deal. And even with him smacking 59 home runs this past season, we were 8 games under 500. That's not my definition of success. Of course, change needs to take place. And it's just that simple. And so when you look at it from that perspective, what Derek Jeter is doing, the reason why I side with Commissioner Manfred is because Dan Le Batard, to me, crossed the line when he said this. And we didn't air that, and we should have aired that. Dan Le Batard literally said to the commissioner, you're starting off the interview with a lie. That's not something you say to the commissioner. You can sit up there and say, Commissioner, you do understand how a lot of people would find that very, very difficult to believe. But Dan Le Batard is invested in South Beach. He's invested in Miami. We have nothing but profound respect. They should be proud to have him down there in Miami. We love him dearly. But the other side to all of this is that the commissioner is not running the Florida Marlins. He doesn't run the organization. You had a whole bunch of prospective buyers. When somebody came to buy the team, all of them had to give their, their projections and what their goals
their financials,
were. Their financial reports. According to the reports, Derek Jeter and those guys made it very clear that they were going to try to cut payroll to about $85 million. The commissioner basically co-signed on that. But that could have been anybody that was trying to buy the Florida Marlins. They still would have been in the same situation. There wasn't an owner that was coming in there that was saying it's okay to lose $300 or $400 million. There wasn't somebody that was coming forward saying we're not going to try to cut payroll at all or what have you. So you ultimately come down to, all right, this is the situation that we have to deal with. Any owner that comes in here is going to be looking to cut payroll. We got to deal with that.